when Tiffany brought it to me, she's like, now hear me out. Because she knows that I'm just, another product, it's like, okay, like I've been in this industry for 10 years. I see products all the time, but your vision for the product and the company that you want to grow, I'm so excited.
Dr. Jordin, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Lori.
I am so excited you're here because number one, you flew from Toronto.
I did. It was snowing.
It
wasn't a hard sell.
This is what you do. You do everything in California and everybody wants to come and see you. So I'm so glad you're here. It's been so much fun, even just the short amount of time that we have gotten to work together. But for all of you listening who don't know, Dr. Jordin Wiggins, who we're going to get to know today and throughout a couple more podcasts, is somebody that I have partnered with for my new company, Glōci. So this podcast primarily is to really let them in on why I chose these different ingredients in this particular product, and just to talk about all of the different things that these ingredients, the benefits for your health, for your skin, all that fun stuff. So first of all, I think it'd be a really cool place to start for people who don't know what a naturopathic doctor is. So why you got into it, what exactly that is. Let's start there.
We could have a whole podcast just on my health history.
Perfect.
But to summarize, I was struggling with hormone imbalances, mood issues. Birth control just did not work for me. I had my period for 3 weeks a month on birth control. I know.
How long did that last? Like how long was that?
For a year.
Wow.
I basically had my period for a year and went to different specialists, and long story short, I felt like traditional healthcare really failed me, didn't meet my needs. So that's when I went into naturopathic medicine. And a lot like, yes, I am a doctor. Yes, I can prescribe medication. So there's a lot of different healthcare providers out there. It was 8 years of post-secondary education, 2 degrees. And then I opened a women's health clinic.
Wow.
So that was sort of my driving force. I didn't want any other woman out there to feel like I felt, which was alone and broken. And I just didn't want to feel fine every day.
Yeah.
I wanted to feel amazing. Like I was young, I was active, I ate well. And I couldn't figure out until I became a naturopathic doctor what was going on with me internally and how to fix it.
So what opened up for you when you took that route? Like what compared to kind of the traditional things that you had been hearing about what was going on in your health opened up? What did you learn as you went down that path? I mean, it's unlimited. I know.
That I wasn't alone. That was the biggest thing, that there was so many women out there just like me who were sort of suffering in silence. Like you're not going around to advertise. Even still today, I've done this for 10 years, but even still I had this like, am I going to tell them that I had my period for a year? Basically, like there's still some shame and weirdness about it. So, but there was literally millions of women feeling the same way. They didn't, even though they were seeking answers, their doctors were saying, oh, your blood work's fine. Like, not sure what's wrong with you. Maybe you should try an antidepressant. Maybe you should try birth control. So just so many women out there that want to feel great. They think they're doing the right things, but then they're not getting the results for feeling amazing every day, feeling energized, feeling light, feeling joyful. Yeah, that's what I've kind of dedicated the last 10 years of my life to doing.
I love that the most passionate people and the people that I love to talk to, they always started the thing that they're doing or got on that path because they were healing something within themselves, or it was a problem that they were dealing with, or a really close to home problem, like someone in their family or whatever that looked like. And you lived it. And then obviously what happens is we want to take that experience and that transformation, because clearly you've had an amazing transformation from what you've done, and share it with other people. So when you opened your practice, was this a private practice or what was that?
A private medical clinic, a women's health clinic. And I ran that for like almost 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And just with COVID and my mission expanding, I moved online and I had a baby. So it was a timing. So closed the brick and mortar clinic. And now with like, I wrote a book and my podcast, I can reach more women globally with my message.
Conversation. Okay. I love this conversation so much because I think someone who's listening, and maybe we have doctors listening who are like, is this something that is even possible? What did that transition look like? Were you freaked out when you went from in person to online? And how did you do it? Were you listening to, like, how did you learn how to do that?
I always have a coach or multiple coaches.
Okay, and awesome.
Massive support and community, because it's scary. You go to school to learn how to do one thing. And that was to be a naturopathic doctor and provide healthcare in the one-on-one model, which I love. And I still do in like a very small private capacity. But that's what I was taught. I wasn't even really taught how to run a business. That part, the business, the marketing, came a little more natural to me personally, but I was always hiring coaches or working with people to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
And I got to a point in my career where people were flying to see me.
Wow.
From the UK, from the US, like to come to my clinic, or driving. I'd look at their address on their intake form and they lived like 6 hours north or something. So I started to think, okay, I've only got so many hours in the day. My wait list is, it's 6 months to get an appointment. But
you can't serve the people you want to serve.
Yes. And there's women out there feeling the exact same way that I was, alone, broken, needing answers because they want to feel good. And the answers exist. They're just not like the avenues that they're taking to find. The answers are not fruitful for them.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, how can I make more of an impact? And this was a 3-year transition. It wasn't like I thought of it and I was brave enough and ready to make it all at once.
It's never fast. That's why I love that you're sharing that for people to hear, because it has its own timeline. It's never fast. And you're taking a whole idea and completely changing what you're doing. And that takes learning.
Totally. And I was planning to go that way. I wrote my book in 2019. It came out March of 2020 when the whole world went crazy. That, I think, was the push that I needed to really do it. It was in the works, but it probably would have even taken me a year or two extra.
Yeah. That time for everyone was such a big, you're like, okay, well, this is all the more reason why you have to have some form of online presence.
Yeah. And with my daughter, I was thinking, do I want to be seeing patients 30, 40 hours a week?
Yeah.
Like literally back to back, plus running a business and managing other doctors. And like, it was a 60, 70 hour a week commitment that I wasn't home. So yeah, the pandemic just gave me time to kind of reassess it all. And I was like, okay, now we're going to do this now.
So this is such a great segue, because it's about reimagining. Like, you really had to reimagine what this could look like and how could this be better. And when I was thinking of creating a product, I was like, what do I love right now? But what do I want to reimagine that is not necessarily, it's not necessarily something like, there's different things that I could see improvement on. Or with my lifestyle, I'm noticing that just like you, especially during that time, I'm getting busier. I want to feel better. That's kind of this track in the back of, I just felt like all of my friends' minds, everything that we were talking about, like, how can I have my life be easier? How can I improve on the things that I'm already doing and the products that I'm already using? And then we are going to do a whole other podcast after this, you guys. So stay tuned. Also on like joy. How can we experience more joy? How can we have more fun? How can we have more pleasure? Which is exactly why you're sitting in this room right now, is because I was like, I don't want to be just online anymore. Like, I also want to do this in person. So with that said, I was so excited when we got connected. We actually got connected through Tiffany Carter, who is,
love you too.
Oh my God, she's amazing. Like, such a powerhouse. So funny too. Like, that's my favorite. Powerhouse and funny. That's great. But she connected us because she's an investor in the company. And she was like, I have the best doctor that you need to connect with. I think she's totally your vibe. I think you guys are going to totally get along. And she was right. I'm so excited to be able to help educate all of the audience on this product and also why I chose some of the ingredients. So I love that you're here to kind of elaborate on some different things. And I'm just so grateful that we were able to partner on this.
Me too. And I love your vision because when Tiffany brought it to me, she's like, now hear me out. Because she knows that I'm just like, another product, it's like, okay, like I've been in this industry for 10 years. I see products all the time, but she's like, talk to her. And you and your vision for the product and the company that you want to grow. I'm so excited for you and to be here. So,
well, you're a piece of the puzzle, and I'm so glad it showed up. And when Jordin is talking about the vision of Glōci, it really is, it's the vision of wellness, but also women, like being able to empower women and show them what's possible, and also get us back to just basics and something very ritualistic and a habit that other things can build on. And I think there is so much out there that
so much
I'm
noise.
even from the wellness space, and I am so overwhelmed that it was a really weird place in my life about 2 years ago where I kind of had stopped using a ton of the products that I had. Part of it was probably because my eyes started really opening as I started formulating a product, but also I just got so much busier that it's like, what am I doing? What am I taking? Why am I taking 10 different things? Like, what is all going on? What do I actually need? I think as the conversations have like really come up, obviously on podcasting, we're just getting so educated. What is actually important for me?
Yeah. And what's going to make a difference and what lifestyle health habits are going to make a difference. I loved that from the beginning. And when we connected on, women want to feel lighter. I think I said that, and you're like, yes, that's what.
Yes, like, this is why lighter and
this
glowing.
This is why. Yeah, we just want to glow. And
totally.
And obviously, there are evidence-based things and thought that went into creating your product, which I love. So let's tell them about it.
All right. When I was thinking of this product, some of the things that I was using ritualistically, that I was just like, okay, this is something that feels really good. This is something that I do every day. I was drinking lemon water, but I was also doing hydration products. And I'm starting to look at these hydration sticks that I'm using twice a day, by the way. And like, I know they're not that great, but they're also making me drink water. So I'm like, okay, yes, I might be getting now I was taking something that was 1,000 milligrams per stick. So it was like 2,000 extra milligrams of salt per day, but it was making me drink my water. So I was kind of like, okay, is this a wash? But I never sat down to look. It's funny, I look at all my other products, but I never really sat down to look at what was in those. And when I did, I was like, couldn't we be doing this in a better way? Couldn't we be also I wanted to provide more than one solution of just hydration in this stick that we're already using. And majority of my friends and majority of people I knew were also using a hydration stick to make themselves drink more water. And I thought this is a really easy, basic way to get more intentional, have that really easy habit, but also be able to confront some other things that I wanted to confront, which as I started to think about the things that I wanted and do a bunch of surveys, I actually ended up doing surveys with thousands of women from different audiences. My audience, we surveyed Boss Babe's audience, we surveyed another girlfriend's audience. And what was coming back is that they all wanted to like look good. They wanted to feel good. They kept saying, I want to feel lighter. I feel heavy, my digestion.
Yeah. And for 10 years, I've had women tell me the same thing. And when we put these habits in place, and hydration, right? If we're drinking more, we are pooping better. We can get into this because we got like probiotics, magnesium. Yeah. But by digesting better, you feel lighter. And I'd have patients come back and say, I don't know how to describe this, but like, I just feel lighter. I feel good. And a lot of time it was because they were digesting better.
I feel like that's just like a good question to ask everyone to know how your day is going to go. Like everyone on set, have you pooped today?
Yeah.
Do we know? Are we going to have a good day?
At least
or
one
a bad
poop
day?
per day.
Exactly.
When people say, "Oh, I'm regular," and I'm like, "Okay, well, what does that mean?"
Yeah.
Oh, I poop every 3 or 4 days.
No, I want to cradle them and like, are you okay? You're not going to be
okay.
Yeah.
Not okay. We need more fluids. We need some magnesium or probiotics potentially. So
let's start there, because that was the main word, was lighter. That is what we got from all of the surveys. And so we were breaking down what that meant. And that is what we obviously have come up with, is this means better digestion. So one of the ingredients in here is a probiotic. And we wanted to make sure, okay, what do they need? What does this look like? And we chose a probiotic that is clinically studied to stay alive within your gut.
Which I love.
A lot are not, correct?
So many products out there, you're taking them, they're not in their active form. So your body needs to activate them for them to be absorbed, or they're just like non-functional by the time they get through your stomach acid into your small intestine where they would be absorbed. But this probiotic is specifically studied, and it is staying alive to do what it needs to do its job. So you're not just flushing your...
Yes, because probiotics are expensive.
They are. And the good ones that work, you see benefit in your digestion, in your gut motility. You're feeling less bloated. Your poops are more formed. Are we going to go?
We can go wherever. Okay. This is, you're all good.
But it's that you will feel lighter after a bowel movement, and that is how it should be. So I can't say enough about probiotics and good digestion. And digestion is the foundation of our health. And we're just starting to learn. Our microbiome has 100 trillion cells in it. And how does that communicate with our nervous system, with our endocrine system to make our hormones? We know our gut-brain connection with mood and mental health. And the gut-skin connection is something that even more research keeps coming out about. And there are these, terms and buzzwords that you hear, but when we're talking about foundational things that you can do, foundational habits that you can have, a probiotic is a great one, especially one that's going to stay active.
So why do you think this has become such a big conversation recently? Because some people are like, is it just a buzzword? Why is it so important? Like, why are we focusing on it so much now?
So I just want to say that naturopathic doctors have been talking about digestive health.
We've been talking about this for 4 years. You have not been listening. 4 years before, and you can cut this if you want, but Americans created like functional medicine as this sort of offshoot of our, and it really popularized doctors doing like holistic approach to wellness, which is amazing. But naturopathic doctors has been around for forever. Traditional Chinese medicine has been around for thousands of years. And digestion has always been a focus of that type of healthcare. In Western medicine, like North American medicine, we sort of segment everything. You'll see a gastroenterologist for your digestive concerns, and you see your gynecologist or endocrinologist for hormone or issues. So it's all very fragmented, but systems of medicine, like traditional Chinese medicine, have had digestion at their foundation for forever. So yes, it is. These things are buzzwords, and they're popularized because they're catchy on, social. But if we think about it, if we are not, like, what we're putting in is important. My clients, I love cars. They love cars, a lot of them. And if we talk about, like, we're putting premium gas in our cars, right? Quality of what we put in matters. But a lot of us will just eat for convenience or, right? Because we're busy and we're overwhelmed. But what we're putting in matters.
how it's being broken down matters. So how our digestive system is working. If we have low stomach acid and we're not able to activate B vitamins, cleave proteins so that they are the proper size to be absorbed in our small intestine, then sometimes even the healthy food is going in, but it's not being broken down properly to be absorbed. So we're excreting a lot of the nutrients.
So they're eating things they don't even think taste good, and it's not working.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have clients come
I
to me all
want
the
this
time.
to work.
They're like, I'm doing all the things, but I'm still not feeling well. So we want to obviously take a little deeper look into why that is. And when we're stressed, we are in our sympathetic overdrive. Our parasympathetic system is more turned off. Like that's our rest and digest. So most of us are go, go, go all day long and just being in that nervous system state. We're not absorbing, which is why habits, healthy habits, even just taking time to sit and eat, because I'm guilty of a working lunch, right? I'm just going to send these emails or get back to this person on Instagram that I forgot to answer or whatever. So
hey y'all, I'm so excited to share with you that this podcast, Earn Your Happy, is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. Truly, this is like one of the most exciting things that has ever happened to me. I'm telling you, I no longer feel like I'm doing this alone, and I actually get to collaborate with the people who host the podcast that I'm obsessed with, like that I have been listening to myself, who inspired me to start a podcast, who have taught me about how to go and do the thing, like the original people who got me motivated through listening to their podcasts. You guys, a bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and to support shows and brands that we believe in. And one of my friends are also on this network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to their show. You guys, I just had Danielle Canty on of the Boss Babe podcast. She co-hosts it with her other amazing co-host and one of my friends, Natalie Ellis. You guys, you can go check out that podcast on mine. It's episode 925, and Danielle and I talk all about burnout and how that could be showing up in your life, and most importantly, how to prevent it. But I want to tell you, if you have not gone and checked out the Boss Babe podcast yet, go subscribe, because it is one of the largest online communities for ambitious women and female entrepreneurs. And I know that if you're listening to the show, chances are that's probably you. You guys, they have 3.6 million followers and 380,000 subscribers. The Boss Babe podcast is the place where they share real behind the scenes of building successful businesses, achieving peak performance, and learning how to balance it all. Most of all, you guys, truly, these women are in my life. Danielle and Natalie are people that I text on a weekly, monthly basis when I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel stuck. What should I do? I tune into their podcast, you guys, to learn. Even though they're my friends, I am still like crazy obsessed with this podcast because I learn something new every single time I listen. It makes me be a better podcaster. It makes me be a better businesswoman. It just makes me be better and more confident out in the world because they're so real and raw. And I can tell you that in the moments where I have had horrible days, down days, I've either gone and listened to this podcast or I've texted them, because these are the people who truly get it. You want to listen to the people who are walking in the same footsteps that you are. You guys, go check out the Boss Babe podcast. You're not going to be sorry. And it's just going to like make you way smarter and you're going to have way more fun. So go check it out.
There's a lot there. And so this conversation, you know, we talk a lot on Earn Your Happy about business, but I also always love to sprinkle in this conversation of health, wellness, where are your rituals at? Where's your mindset at? Because you cannot do anything in business or reach your goals if the vehicle is breaking down. Like, so many people wonder why they're not reaching goals. And I'm like, because the vehicle is not strong enough or like mentally sound enough to be, you're not taking care of yourself.
We're not doing the tune-ups. We're not fueling with the good gas, right?
Yeah. You don't have the energy.
And we just, because we're so focused on the goal, on the outcome. And all of my clients have massive dreams, massive impact. And like our health and our bodies sort of seems to be we just assume, oh, I'll do whatever and it's going to be fine. But then their health is what ends up holding them back a lot.
Whenever I get back into, because, you know, through life, it like fluctuates. You're up and you're down on your health journey. I feel like semi-frequently, but hopefully that ladder just, you keep staying up higher and higher as you learn more. And I have always found that when I get really refocused on my health and also find simple ways to get refocused, like the more success I've experienced, the more simplistic my routine has gotten as well, which is great. It's getting a little more dialed in. But when I've really focused, my business always gets better. Like when I feel really good, my business is thriving and people are like, oh, you're glowing. You're doing, I'm like, I'm taking care of myself. Go figure. Like I'm back at the gym. I'm eating well again. I'm really looking at my relationships.
And it's one of those things. It feels like we don't have the time or the energy to prioritize health, but it
gives you time and energy.
Yes.
It 10x's your time and it way more than 10x.
I talk about
it's
like
energy.
The return on health and the return on pleasure, which we can talk about in part 2.
Yeah, I hit the mic.
It's
fine.
I told you, I warned you all, but
she literally sat down and she's like, I hit mics. I'm like, what does this mean? She slaps mics. We get it.
It's she's the animated.
Animation. That's what we want. Okay, so let's talk about the next ingredient that I chose because it's been linked to digestion, is prickly pear, because it has a lot of fiber, dietary fiber in it. It has a lot of vitamins, antioxidants. So prickly pear, what are your thoughts?
Prickly pear is amazing. It's newer. So it isn't newer, but there's not a ton of research on all of the amazing benefits. What we do know is that its fibrous properties do help with digestion. And I have a bone to pick about fiber that I would like to share with you all. So when people are having digestive issues, fiber is something that they go to help. And fiber, when not taken with enough water, can actually worsen digestive symptoms. So that's one of the reasons that I love prickly pear with Glōci, because you're taking the fiber, you'll have the digestive benefits, and you're also drinking it with more water, which is what you should be doing.
Okay, I love that. This product is truly all about water, water, water. And initially, the first thought was like, okay, I think we're all a bunch of toddlers and we just need to flavor this and make it great and also add all of these incredible benefits.
Yeah, why is it so easy to drink 6 coffees a day?
Because girl, that tastes so good. But Glōci tastes freaking amazing. You guys, it's like fresh lemon spa water. That was my other thing, is all of these hydration packets they tasted fake to me. And they were so intense.
Sweet and dyes. And
I wanted something that you could drink in like all day long, that you wanted to go back to, that felt really refreshing. And I wasn't experiencing anything that was super refreshing. It was either way too salty, way too Kool-Aid-y. I'm like, why is this a super bright fluorescent color? This freaks me out.
Yeah.
And
when you're hydrating and you're hydrating throughout the day or having multiples of something and doing it daily, like what you're putting in your body really matters.
Yes.
So yeah, if it's Kool-Aid-y,
gotta watch that.
Yeah,
guys.
Look out.
Or like me, salty, and going, hydration also helps me not feel bloated, right? But this 2,000 milligrams of salt, is this bloating me?
Even with people in their sparkling water, sometimes they don't realize that if they're having lots per day, the salt content could be contributing. And it's not
in the sparkling water.
Yeah, it's not every sparkling water, but some have added sodium. So we want to be aware of what we're putting in our bodies.
We're like, we want to feel lighter and less bloated, but all of our favorite things are like, do not take my sparkling water.
Coffee is a diuretic. but it's also dehydrating. So
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's when we just aren't talking about that because we want to look away. No, we love this.
We'll give some tips on that in part 2.
In part 2, guys, come to part 2. Okay, so let's talk about magnesium. So for me, magnesium has always been something that I have noticed personally. The things that I have noticed help me. I just feel like I sleep better. I also feel like it helped regulate poop. My pooping.
Oh, it does.
I was going to say bowel
Magnesium.
movement,
Yes,
but I was
it does. And so, and we're not talking about magnesium oxide because it will give you diarrhea, but forms of magnesium are smooth muscle relaxants. So they help with sleep. They help with bowel movement. So magnesium is just endless. I can't say enough. I love it. Helps with detox, helps with hormone balance. We need magnesium. It's for so many cellular processes, and 50% of Americans eat a diet deficient in magnesium.
Wow.
So we'll see like constipation, muscle cramping. People love to blame their muscle cramping on potassium. So they'll eat, I'll have some bananas.
I'll have a banana.
And sometimes that is the case, but I find more often than not in my clients, it's a magnesium deficiency. And stress depletes magnesium and B vitamins. Like we just use more of it. So our requirement is often more.
So I know magnesium has a lot of other benefits. Can you kind of tell me the reasons that you love it and what the other benefits are?
So magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions. So involved with so many things on the cellular health level. Helps regulate blood sugar. It helps prevent chronic inflammatory diseases like Alzheimer's, hypertension, like high blood pressure, and cardiovascular disease. So when it's deficient in our diet and it's going to help you be healthy today and prevent aging or like diseases as we age, magnesium's a no-brainer for me for being part of people's routine.
I knew I loved it. It feels really, I'm that person that when you tell me what it does, I'm super motivated to take it or to remember to take it. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast. Like whenever I have, different things that I'm taking or different companies that even if there's an insert inside or if it's on the box, like I like the reminder of why I'm doing it.
And clinically, because probably a lot of the listeners have this, I use magnesium in my practice for migraines and any like PMS concern, mood, bloating, breast tenderness stuff. It's just really good for hormones as well.
I love that. Okay, let's move on to zinc. So zinc is, I loved it because it is known for supporting an even skin tone, but also there's so much within zinc that also helps support your immune system, which for really busy women, which was what I had in mind. The main things that I wanted to confront with this again were skin and to feel lighter, less bloated, but all of these extra health benefits of the things that we chose for skin and for digestion just happen to also have all of these other incredible benefits for your health. And zinc was one of them that I actually did not take a separate zinc product before this, just because it was an extra thing. I knew that I should be doing it, but I didn't do it. So when I also learned about how good it is for skin tone, I was like, this is awesome because it's going to kill two birds with one stone.
I love vitamins and minerals because they're foundational. They have so many benefits. Zinc is used a lot for treating skin conditions like acne. I loved using it for hormonal acne, especially, and then clients that just want brighter, like better skin tone. It's a great one. And I think immunity, that has been on our radar a lot since 2020, people wanting to get healthy, stay healthy. And when you're busy, getting sick just sucks. So zinc supporting immune function we know this. That's a foundational part, and also kind of leads us into vitamin C.
Mm-hmm. One thing on zinc, though, that I want to share is you don't want to over zinc yourself.
Oh yeah, we talked about
yes.
this. Yeah.
So let's chat about that, because we don't have a high dose in here in this particular product. So I also know you don't want to, it's an interesting fine line. I just had someone on yesterday, Kaylee Christina, who has a company called ClearStem. And it's one of those products that zinc is great for your skin up till a point. You don't want to overindulge in too many servings of zinc, because then it can actually adversely affect your skin. And if you take too much, I know that you would.
Yeah, then we'll have digestive issues. So a lot of zinc, especially sometimes I find my clients on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
It makes them feel nauseous. So we want to be careful with too much zinc, especially on an empty stomach, because you will feel just a little off. Women know that with their prenatals. Sometimes it's the zinc in there that will bother them. And also taking too much zinc and not balancing it with copper, like zinc will deplete copper just with our cellular reactions. So we want to make sure that if you were taking a lot of zinc, if it was recommended or prescribed by your doctor for a certain health condition, that you're pairing it with copper.
Okay. So good to know, because I think some people, this is so my husband, I live with one of them. He thinks if it's good, you must take a lot of it.
Yeah, like, if a little is good, a lot must be great.
He's like, he was literally doing like 3 servings of these daily vitamins that are just like for 1 serving. I was like, what are you doing? And that was his theory. He's like, well, if 1 is good, then 3 must be great. I was like, actually, no.
Yeah. And it's just certain things, like who knew that zinc depletes copper, especially if you take it over time. So yeah, knowing your amounts and the indications, and too much is not always better for certain things, which I think is why it's very important to like consult with a practitioner for each of these things, to know like what's my amount, how much should I be taking. Not always 3 is better than 1.
And we are underneath the radar of things that have been known, the dosage that has been known to bother your stomach. Okay, amazing.
Yeah. But if people were taking 10 a day,
a ton of it, you might notice that. Okay, so let's move into vitamin C. So one of the coolest things that I learned about vitamin C, because when I was starting to talk to different doctors and different people about what are some like amazing skin ingredients that you would not go without when you're thinking about anything with skin, and vitamin C was typically amongst all of them number 1. And I thought it was really interesting, though, that a lot of the conversation was topical for vitamin C. But the craziest thing is that when you actually have to take vitamin C in order for your body to make its own collagen, like to help its collagen production. And I was like, why are we not really talking about this conversation of making sure you supplement with vitamin C?
Yeah. And there's certain nutrients there, like there's essential nutrients and non-essential nutrients. Essential nutrients like vitamin C, our body has no way of synthesizing it. So we need to ingest it through our food or through supplementation, because our body has no way of making it from that's a non-essential nutrient. So our body could make things from what we eat, even if we weren't ingesting it. So, but vitamin C is something that we need to take, and it should be a part of our daily diet. So foods like fruits, vegetables are high in vitamin C. And when whichever way we're getting it, supplements or through our nutrition, it helps with collagen production. So I would use it a lot with tissue healing. So if clients have, cosmetic surgeries or surgery in general or injuries, it's something that I would constantly be using vitamin C and zinc for how it's helping our skin heal. And yeah, to me, it's essential for collagen production. And we know that that goes down as we age. So important thing to have.
When I was thinking of creating this product, I was like, do I want to do collagen in here? And I feel like so many companies actually do collagen really well. I think there are some great companies out there. And I also think people are really attached to their collagen products. But I wanted to come at it from that aspect of what if you're like helping your body actually produce more of it. So that's why I wanted to choose vitamin C for that reason. Okay, so let's move into the next ingredient that I'm excited about, and that's hyaluronic acid. And I know that a lot of people use this topically, it's super popular right now, but also ingesting hyaluronic acid, and we have this in our body, and I can't wait for your explanation of it. But ingesting it may also be linked to reduced fine lines and wrinkles.
So I like to think of it, and this is just my brain and how it works, but I like to think of hyaluronic acid. It's a polymer found in so many cells in our body, joint spaces. I think of it like pillow, like a pillowy substance. So it helps increase skin cell turnover for a more youthful looking complexion. It also is helping with our fluid balance, and it's in our joints. So it's keeping things like plumpier, squishier kind of. So that's just how I think about it.
Which you can also think of in terms of your skin. Like if your skin is retaining, like if it's carrying the moisture in it, it's going to look more plump, youthful.
Yes. And reducing the fine lines and wrinkles. One more thing that I loved about this product is the rice hulls that you used for anti-caking, because we all know, and I love a natural product, but sometimes it gets super, super clumpy, like your alternative milks in your coffee. Sometimes they just don't work well. And a lot of anti-caking agents are not great for you. I do not recommend people taking them, and rice hulls is just a better alternative.
Yeah, that was it was like a whole interesting learning for me of then going, okay, we have this great formulation. Now, how do you keep it from not caking?
Yeah, taste and caking.
Oh God,
and
what are my options? And they brought the options to me that a lot of really good companies use, but there's still some questionable things that even though it's great companies, I was like, do I go the risk? It was riskier, more natural route, because maybe you don't have the shelf life of it can still potentially in the future get kind of clumpy. The product still works great. It's still wonderful, but I went with the more natural choice because I just didn't feel good if people are going to be consuming this every single day, sometimes twice a day, that I wanted to make sure that it wasn't loaded with chemicals.
Love it.
I'm so grateful for you. This was such a fun conversation. I feel like it was sometimes I'll listen to these and I'm like, I don't know if I'm learning anything or if this is going over my head, but I just learned so much. I'm so motivated to, number one, be healthy, but also just drink a lot of my product.
You can't wait. Can you send me it in bulk?
You're getting it in bulk. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. You're going to glow even more, which is almost feels like it's not possible. But thank you so much for coming on. And where can everyone find you, follow you, all the fun stuff?
Instagram at Dr. Jordin Wiggins. Send me a DM if you have any questions. Happy to answer it. I answer those myself. And the Pleasure Principles podcast is another great place to connect with me.
Which you guys, part 2 of this, we're going to get into so much fun stuff because she also does a lot of really cool things for women and just joy and pleasure in their lives. So until next time, everyone, earn your happy. Bye-bye.
Hey, do you know what the big secret is this year? And it shouldn't be a secret because this should be your biggest focus. It is building your community. I am always working on building and nurturing my community, and everyone is talking about the power of community. Without an online community, you just cannot grow organically or create a real movement, which is what I know that we're all after. And you can build trust or monetize your audience when you get community right. Not only does your audience grow faster, but so do your sales. But where's everybody going to be managing their communities these days? And a lot of online entrepreneurs and thought leaders are turning to Circle.so. Circle is an all-in-one community platform. It lets you host content and create discussions, live streams, group chats, and memberships all under your own brand. And what's so cool about Circle.so is that you don't even need a website or Facebook group. Instead, Circle lets you build your own community site where you can host content and manage your members. You can even create locked and unlocked content spaces, groups, and classes. How freaking cool is that? You can put your content behind a paywall too, and you can charge different amounts of money for different spaces on your community site. Circle.so is famously easy to use, and it has a free 14-day trial for you, so you can go check it out, see if you like it, see if you love all the options. Just go to Circle.so. Go check it out right now, you guys. Imagine being able to manage your community, start group chats and live classes, and accept payments all in one place. Kind of mind-blowing, since this is usually spread all over the place. You have to log into so many different things. If this is the year to capture, organize, and monetize your community, head over to Circle.so. You can get a free trial and start building your online community right now. Just go to Circle.so. You guys, you get the 14-day free trial. So just go and see if it's for you. It's going to streamline everything and make your life so much easier. It's so freaking cool.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. And I want to make sure that you have my phone number, and I'm not kidding. Did you know that I have a community text number? For real. My phone number is 310-496-8363. This goes directly to my phone. All you have to do is text the word daily to 310-496-8363. And I literally text you every single day, Monday through Friday. I actually just got done 30 seconds ago texting a bunch of people back, and I talk to you all of the time. You guys, people always ask me how I got my community text number and how it works. Well, all you have to do is you can just go to community.com and get your own. Community makes it easy to get a phone number that you can use to build your audience using text. People just text you at your number and they're added to your group. Then you can text them out audios, video links, anything you want. You guys, I text out happy birthday videos. I love to send podcast links, thoughts about life, book recommendations, different events that I'm doing in the local area. Texting gets me out of the noise of social media and directly into your hand. And now you can start texting your people too. Just go to community.com to get your phone number. They give you a 10-digit real phone number, not those weird short codes that look like spam, but it's more than a phone number. Your new number comes with an inbox for SMS and texting. This means you can actually manage your text list from your computer and an app on your phone. You can schedule text to send at certain times and to certain groups. You can even set up auto replies or let your assistant or customer service team answer your text messages via Community's awesome dashboard. Just go to community.com and ask for a free demo. They'll show you how it works and get you your number. It's time to start texting your audience versus just posting on social media. Everyone uses Community for that. So go check them out at community.com. I can tell you it's not just great for communicating with my audience, but Chris and I use Community and our texts to also sell out our launches. I'm telling you, you get such an incredible response because you really are creating a true deep sense of community, and it's so intimate. It's freaking amazing. Go check it out at community.com.